Paul. Great job on your Joshua Tree video, honestly. I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to see the desert again. Now, that video actually inspired me to make another video. Now, I have my overnight trip that I'm really looking forward to with Chelsea coming up in a couple weeks. We're taking our dogs out. It's going to be a ton of fun. Hopefully I can get beautiful footage of our family together, and it will be the dog's first camping trip in Florida. Now, Big Brain Cody, right off the bat with this hike, thought of the video title. Now, this is 100% clickbait, but hiking on mushrooms. That'll make sense in a minute. Now, for this hike, I'm going to an unpronounceable location. I'm going to attempt to say it. Econlockhatchee Sandhills Conservation Area. I don't know if I said that right, but woke up early at sunrise. There was a beautiful fog in the forest that we were driving through, and honestly, the sunrise was starting to look pretty fire. We were starting to get some pink in the sky and all those beautiful colors as I get ready to start this hike. As the sun's starting to rise up, it is getting a little bit warmer. It's still cold out, but I know I'm going to get warm hiking, so I wanted to take off my jacket and prepare for this. Now, this hike is just a flat, level ground hike through some forest, so it should be relatively easy. Going along the hiking trail at sunrise, the sun is starting to peek through, and it looks really beautiful. It's lighting up all the spider webs and plants, and honestly, I was digging it. I couldn't help but stop and film a lot. But as I'd mentioned in my last videos, I'm trying to be more mindful of like the environment around me, and that includes noticing some unfamiliar plants and subtle differences. Today, I noticed mushrooms along the side of the trail. They were very unique looking, but it had like these gills, I don't know what you call them, underneath that looked really good. And this is like the cleanest mushroom I've ever seen on a hike. Maybe I just didn't notice mushrooms before, but it just looked really clean and pleasing. So after admiring the mushroom for a minute, I continue on my hike. The sun's still shining through the trees in the forest, and it's just looking really beautiful. Now, unfortunately, the trail takes you under these power lines. So you're hiking along these power lines, but it's still beautiful. Once again, Florida has nature constantly trying to fight and take over. So it's still a very nature-esque hike, despite the fact that you can see civilization. Now, as I get past the power lines and to like the main trailhead, I see a small little path off to the side, and I go down it to check it out for a second. It turns out it's like some kind of weird backcountry camping site. I am like maybe 3/4 of a mile into this hike, and there's this weird little backcountry camping area, and people used it. Somebody lit a fire recently, so I mean, it looks like it's used semi-frequently, which was really weird. Walk back onto the main trail, and I proceed through, just admiring how beautiful this hike is. And then I had to stop for a minute as I saw the sun just shining through, and just, it was this really beautiful, surreal moment. Now, there were clouds kind of blocking the sun, so I didn't capture that sun shining through quite as nicely, because I did want to stop and take some photos this time around, and the photos were better, in my opinion, than the video because the clouds started to block the sun. But it was nice to just take some general landscape photography for fun, no pressure, no need it for the gram. And I think because of this, and because I was just being in the moment and being in nature, I got one of my favorite landscape photos I've ever gotten. And it's of this like mushroom being lit by the sun. Once again, mushrooms. It's being lit by the sun on the forest bed, and it's this bright white mushroom in the middle of all this brush and brown and green, and just looks really pretty. So I was really happy with how that image turned out. And yeah, that's a long-winded way of me talking about 2 mushrooms, you know, hiking on mushrooms. I don't know. The title just sounded so clickbaity. I wonder how many of you people clicked on it because of that. Paul, I know it probably got your attention. So as I continue forward, I get a fork in the road. Luckily, there's like these red, bright mile markers or trail markers on the road that I could follow, so I know which way to go. And I'm hiking through, and this is the once again cool part about Florida is nature's kind of growing into this trail. So I'm hiking through a lot of brush, and I really do need to get hiking shoes or boots again because mine are gone, and I was hiking in my regular shoes because I thought this would be easy. But, you know, hiking through bushes and stuff like that is not as much fun in just regular old tennis shoes. I can speak well. But it was a surreal hike nonetheless. I really enjoyed going through. Doing this at sunrise, I thought because there was a lot of forest, I wasn't going to get to really enjoy the sunrise, but I ended up enjoying it quite a bit. It created these beautiful long shadows through the forest and made it look very magical. So I was really happy with this hike. Now, I did get to kind of a difficult impasse. It just kept getting thicker and thicker. So I wasn't sure what to do next. So, a funny thing, Paul, this hike almost didn't happen because I forgot water. Instead of doing what the immediate thought was, oh, it's ruined, I'm not gonna make it there by sunrise, I gotta turn around. There are these things called gas stations where you can buy water. And it's funny because I almost canceled this beautiful hike all because I forgot water. And I'm glad I made it happen. I think this is where it's going to dead end because it's getting too thick and I don't feel like bushwhacking through all this crap. This is my first time at this hike. It's not very trafficked, as you can tell. I mentioned in the last hike that Florida is this constant fight with nature. So it's kind of cool to see it in action here too. Well, Paul, hopefully you enjoyed this hiking video. I was really inspired by your Joshua Tree trip, and I'm looking forward to my trip with Chelsea. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be our first overnight together in Florida, first overnight with the dogs. So that's really exciting. Hoping, because it's fall and we got all those the cold weather, I'm hoping we can sit fireside and just bundle up, have our dogs in their little sweaters. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.